Something unexpected moments in global power don't usually announce themselves. They don't come with press releases, official statements, or dramatic headlines. They happen quietly, almost casually, and only later do people realize they were watching the early signal of something much bigger. And that's exactly why this latest appearance by Lisa and Frédéric Arnault matters far more than it seems at first glance. At face value, it looks simple. Two high-profile figures, seen again in the same space, at a time when luxury, entertainment, and global branding are undergoing a major shift. But this isn't just another public appearance. And it definitely isn't random. In today's luxury economy, appearances are currency, timing is strategy, and proximity is power. Lisa Manoban from Blackpink is no longer operating in the traditional framework of a pop star. She represents brand value at a scale most celebrities never reach. As a global ambassador for Louis Vuitton and a cultural force through Blackpink, she exists at the intersection of entertainment, marketing, and long-term investment. Every visual, every public moment, every carefully framed appearance feeds into a larger system of perception, reach, and monetization. In modern luxury, attention isn't just influence. Attention is revenue. What makes Lisa unique is not just her popularity, but how her image functions across markets. In Asia, she represents aspiration and loyalty. In Europe, she signals cultural relevance. In the United States, she operates as a bridge between entertainment and premium branding. That kind of cross-market positioning is extremely rare, and it's exactly the type of asset global conglomerates pay attention to. Luxury brands don't invest in trends. They invest in durability. And durability comes from personal brands that can evolve without losing credibility. This is where the story becomes more interesting. Frédéric Arnault is not a figure who moves loudly. His reputation has been built on execution, not spectacle. From his time leading Tag Heuer to his current role as CEO of L'Oréal, his focus has consistently been on long-term value creation, operational discipline, and strategic patience. He represents a generation of leadership within LVMH that understands luxury is no longer just about craftsmanship. It's about narrative control, digital presence, and future-proof brand architecture. So when Lisa and Frédéric Arnault appear in the same frame again, the key question isn't about speculation or gossip. The real question is why now? Why at this moment, when luxury brands are reassessing how they allocate marketing budgets, how they structure global campaigns, and how they protect brand equity in an era dominated by digital platforms and short attention spans? There's a subtle shift happening in how LVMH approaches visibility. Traditional celebrity endorsements are being replaced by something more sophisticated. Instead of transactional partnerships, the focus is moving toward long-term alignment. Visual assets that don't just sell products, but reinforce brand philosophy. Lisa fits perfectly into this model because she doesn't feel like an advertisement. She feels like culture. Midway through this story, it's important to pause and recognize something many people overlook. Luxury today isn't driven by products alone. It's driven by ecosystems. Revenue streams now extend beyond physical goods into digital rights, licensing, global campaigns, and long-tail brand storytelling. When a global icon like Lisa amplifies a brand, the impact goes far beyond immediate sales. It affects valuation, investor confidence, and long-term market positioning. This is where the business layer quietly takes over. In the modern economy, personal brands operate like startups. They generate revenue through multiple channels, scale through digital distribution, and compound value over time. Lisa's presence at events like Paris Fashion Week 2026 isn't just symbolic. It's strategic. It reinforces her role not just as a performer, but as an entrepreneurial force whose image drives measurable outcomes. And Frédéric Arnault understands this landscape deeply. His leadership style reflects an awareness that the future of luxury lies in controlled expansion, not overexposure. By aligning with figures who already command global trust and attention, LVMH strengthens its ability to remain relevant without diluting its identity. This isn't about chasing hype. It's about managing influence. As the narrative builds, the climax isn't a single announcement or dramatic reveal. It's the realization that power today doesn't always look powerful. It looks coordinated. It looks intentional. It looks quiet. And that's what makes this latest appearance so telling. It suggests alignment. Not necessarily contracts or formal declarations, but a shared understanding of where luxury, culture, and business are heading next. There's also an emotional layer that shouldn't be ignored. Fans see Lisa Blackpink as inspiration. Brands see her as an asset. But beneath that is a deeper story about legacy. Building something that lasts requires discipline, timing, and the ability to say no more often than yes. Lisa's career trajectory reflects that mindset. It's not about saturation. It's about elevation. As this chapter begins to close, one thing becomes clear. This moment wasn't designed to shock the world overnight. It was designed to signal direction. In luxury, signals matter more than statements. They tell insiders where the momentum is moving long before the public catches on. And if this appearance truly signals something bigger, then what we're witnessing isn't a headline. It's the early stage of a long-term strategy that blends entertainment, entrepreneurship, and investment thinking into a single narrative. Because long-term strategies rarely reveal themselves all at once. They unfold through repetition, consistency, and carefully managed visibility. When entertainment merges with entrepreneurship and investment thinking, the result isn't instant hype, but sustained dominance. That's what separates temporary relevance from generational influence. What we're seeing now is the refinement phase, a stage where brand value is no longer measured only by popularity metrics, but by how effectively a figure can stabilize perception across different markets. Lisa's positioning reflects this shift clearly. She is no longer just associated with performance or style. She represents reliability in attention, trust in branding, and scalability in marketing execution. These are qualities investors look for, not fans. From a business perspective, this kind of alignment reduces risk. Luxury houses operate on long planning cycles. Campaigns are mapped years ahead. Capital is allocated based on predictability, not virality. When a global figure can maintain relevance without overexposure, their image becomes a form of insurance. It protects brand equity while allowing controlled expansion into new demographics and platforms. There's also a psychological element at play. Audiences don't respond the same way to constant announcements anymore. They respond to continuity. Familiar faces, recurring presence, and subtle evolution create comfort. Comfort builds loyalty. Loyalty drives revenue. This is marketing psychology applied at the highest level, where emotional connection quietly supports financial performance. Another layer that often goes unnoticed is digital ownership. In an era where visuals circulate instantly and indefinitely, every appearance contributes to a growing archive of brand-aligned content. This content generates value far beyond the moment it's captured. It fuels future campaigns, reinforces narrative consistency, and strengthens long-term digital rights strategies. That's where modern luxury quietly multiplies its returns. For Lisa Manobin, this phase signals maturity, not the end of growth, but the transition into legacy building. Legacy isn't built through noise. It's built through precision. Through selecting the right rooms to enter, the right people to align with, and the right moments to be seen. Each decision compounds, shaping not just a career, but a brand that outlives trends. For LVMH and leaders like Frédéric Arnault, this represents strategic evolution, a recognition that cultural capital now carries weight equal to financial capital. When the two move in sync, the result isn't just influence, but infrastructure. A system designed to endure market shifts, audience changes, and digital disruption. And that's why this moment matters. Not because of what was said, but because of what was implied. Strategy rarely speaks loudly. It prefers to move quietly, leaving clues instead of explanations. Those who understand the signals recognize the direction early. Everyone else catches up later. What comes next may not arrive with fanfare. It may appear as another subtle alignment, another carefully timed presence, another seemingly simple moment. But together, these moments form a roadmap. And for those paying attention, the destination is becoming clearer with every step. If you want to understand how global power is shifting in real time, not through rumors but through patterns, positioning, and business logic, Then stay close. Because moments like this are never isolated. They're chapters. And the next chapter is already forming. If this kind of deep analysis helps you see beyond the surface, make sure to stay connected. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. The loud moves get attention, but the quiet ones shape the future. And this was very quiet.